Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove erupted during a heated congressional hearing, accusing Republicans of pushing manufactured fear instead of addressing real problems facing Americans. But the moment took an even sharper turn when she brought up Jared Kushner and his Saudi business dealings, asking why no one seems to be concerned about that. The explosive exchange quickly transformed into a broader clash over religion, extremism, political priorities, and accountability in Washington.
Recognize the gentlelady from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, of all the things to hold a hearing on today, why this? A Sharia-free America. Oh, that's right. It is election season, which means Republicans turn up the fear-mongering to level 10, and easy targets are members of our Muslim community. And this hearing allows my Republican colleagues to legitimize their religious bigotry. But today, I am not participating in this charade. I have hosted numerous town halls. I am talking to my constituents every single day, and no one has brought up Sharia law. It is not a pressing issue, but it is a manufactured crisis, because you know what they are talking about? They're talking about the crisis of this Republican Congress. The Constitution says that we have oversight jurisdiction over the administration, that we have the authority to authorize war, and that we have the power of the purse. And none of that is happening right now. The Trump administration has launched a war of choice with Iran, and Americans are paying the price. The president said that he's not thinking about the pocketbooks of Americans. He said, no, not at all. So millions of people are worried about how they're going to eat this week. More than 100 million Americans carry medical or credit card debt. Job openings have fallen to their lowest level since 2020, and all of this has happened under Republicans' watch. Working families want to know how they are going to survive this economy and what Congress is doing to help. And the Republicans' response is to hold this obtuse hearing. There are real oversight issues that this committee could be addressing right now that deal with the Constitution, like the $1 billion ballroom that Trump wants taxpayers to pay. Oh, and by the way, he wants to get a cut from the contractor. The Epstein files, continuing to cover them up, no accountability for survivors. The treatment of pregnant women in federal custody, attacks on our voting rights and civil liberties, rising hate crimes and extremist violence, and criminal justice reform. Instead, Republicans are peddling anti-Muslim conspiracy theories and complaining about world religion studies. So let's get into it. The Constitution does not require Americans to abandon their religion to participate in society. It protects the free exercise of religion. Government does not get to decide which faiths are acceptable and which communities deserve suspicion. For many Muslims, Sharia simply refers to personal religious guidance about prayer, fasting, charity, or family life, not some attempt to replace the United States Constitution, and suggesting otherwise unfairly paints millions of Americans with a broad and dangerous brush. So the religions that I know about are Christianity, Catholicism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Islam, and all are premised on peace. And real talk, any religion can get radicalized. And Christianity is being radicalized and weaponized right now, so we could talk about that. The Tree of Life Synagogue massacre in Pittsburgh, Dylann Roof massacring black parishioners in South Carolina, the murder of Minnesota Rep. Portman and her husband, the massacre of Sikh temple members in Wisconsin, the radically charged plot to attack the Baltimore power grid, all violent crimes committed by radicalized white evangelical extremists. So you talk about American values, and Ms. Mecklenburg referenced that women are less than half a man, that, well, you know, we're denying women health care. You talked about failing our children. Well, we're doing that here, cutting SNAP benefits, cutting access to education. You talked about marrying pedophiles. Well, we're covering up the Epstein files. Islam's not doing that. The American government is doing that. And you know what? I'm not safe on the streets either, and it has nothing to do with being Islam, which I'm not. It's about being black. You talk about Saudi Arabia. Well, let's talk about Jared Kushner getting $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. No one seems to be concerned about that. So if we're going to get into it, let's get into it. But the American people deserve committees that hold hearings grounded in facts and not bigotry. And there has been zero evidence that Muslim Americans are attempting to impose religious law on the United States. Last I checked, people are just trying to figure out if they have enough money for gas and to buy a dozen eggs. And with that, I have some UCs that I want to enter into the record, Mr. Chair.
Gentlelady is recognized.
Thank you, sir. From the Scientific Study of Religion, Christian Nationalism, and Violence Against Religious Minorities in the United
Without
States.
objection.
A quantitative analysis. From PRRI from May of 26, no quarter, American Evangelicals and Political Violence.
Without objection.
From the Center for American Progress, 2020, How White Supremacy Returned to Mainstream Politics.
Without objection.
And lastly, from The Conversation, August 2025, Active Clubs Are White Supremacy's New Dangerous Frontier.
Without objection.
Thank you, and with that, I yield back.
I also have a unanimous consent request. I'd like to insert a statement for the record from our colleague Keith Self, my colleague from Texas, titled Sharia for America, Why Political Islam and Sharia Law Are Incompatible with the United States.
This hearing became far more than a debate over Sharia law or religious freedom. It evolved into a larger political battle over what Congress should actually be focused on. And Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove made that crystal clear from the very beginning. Instead of easing into her remarks diplomatically, she immediately accused Republicans of using the hearing as a political weapon during election season. Her argument was straightforward. Americans are struggling with inflation, debt, economic anxiety, and global instability, yet Congress was spending its time discussing what she viewed as a manufactured controversy targeting Muslims. That framing alone guaranteed controversy. But what made the exchange especially explosive was how she connected the hearing to broader accusations of hypocrisy within Washington politics. At one point, she referenced Jared Kushner's Saudi business ties, essentially asking why certain foreign influence concerns generate outrage while others barely receive scrutiny. That line landed hard because it shifted the conversation from religion to political double standards. And strategically, that was the point. Kamlager-Dove was attempting to turn the hearing itself into evidence of selective outrage, arguing that some issues become headline scandals while others are ignored, depending on political convenience. Whether viewers agree with her or not, it was a calculated move designed to reframe the entire hearing. She also made a broader constitutional argument, emphasizing that religious freedom is protected under American law and that government should not decide which faith deserves suspicion. That's where she pivoted into discussing extremism across multiple religions, arguing that radicalization is not exclusive to Islam. That section of the hearing will likely spark major reactions online because it touched directly on culture war politics, religious identity, and political rhetoric. Three issues that instantly divide audiences in today's media environment. At the same time, critics of her comments will likely argue that she dismissed legitimate national security concerns too quickly. Supporters of the hearing would say discussions about extremism, foreign influence, and ideological movements are valid subjects for congressional oversight regardless of religion. And that's why this exchange matters politically. Both sides are speaking to very different fears in America right now.